Welcome, everyone. Today's webinar is about how to empower your organization with Alexa for Business. I'm Lakshmin Mumataya. I'm a partner solution architect at AWS with special focus on Alexa for Business. We all have read magical stories. We have seen stunning magical worlds come alive in movies. Isn't it always fascinating how a genie from the lamp can obey your commands and do whatever you ask for? Or how witches and wizards just flick their wands, cast a magical spell, and get things done. Now, how often have we wished that we had a genie lamp or a magical wand in our real life to help us with our day to day activities? Well, we may have a hard time finding a genie lamp or a magical wand, but we sure can get an Alexa voice enabled device like an Echo or Echo Show or a Fire Cube. With Alexa, we immediately get an intelligent virtual assistant who can help us with our day to day tasks at home. We can ask Alexa to play a song, to find a recipe, read a book, or turn on the light and set the temperature, or make that splendid cup of coffee that fuels our morning, order things for home, and even check the latest transactions and balance in our bank account. In fact, Alexa has become the mainstream voice user interface at many of our homes. Alexa's automated speech recognition, paired with powerful deep learning models for natural language understanding, helps us provide the power of voice technology at a very low cost to our customers and partners, and in turn enable them to integrate Alexa in their products and services, and in turn bring the magic of voice experience to all our homes. We have seen how Alexa helps to improve our productivity at home. Now, how can we extend the magic of Alexa to our workplace? How can Alexa help us increase productivity in an organization? Alexa for Business helps us bring the power of Alexa to any workplace, let it be a traditional office or a manufacturing floor or a warehouse, a college, a hospital, a hotel, or even an onshore drilling site. Wouldn't it be wonderful when everyone has their own digital assistant at work, or when the entire workplace is powered with voice technology? In this webinar, we're going to focus on two things. First is to discover the world of possibilities with Alexa in an organization. Let us explore various scenarios where Alexa can empower an organization and help you build a vision for a voice integrated workplace. The second part of the webinar focuses on how exactly Alexa for Business helps you turn your vision into reality. So, once you have a voice strategy for an organization or a product or a service, you will need resources to help with planning, configuration, deployment, management of Alexa voice integrated devices and skills throughout your organization, and address enterprise requirements like security, scalability, reliability, and performance management. Alexa for Business provides the capability to meet these requirements and provide a centralized management for all devices, users, and skills. Before we dive deeper, let us take a minute to understand the two different options that Alexa for Business offers for user access. This will help us gain a better perspective when we talk about various use cases for Alexa and when we talk about management of devices and users. The first model is called a shared device model. In this model, the Alexa voice integrated devices like Echo and Echo Dot are registered to the organization and not to any personal account. These devices can be configured with a location specific information like room name, building location, and time zone. An administrator will be able to set up and configure the shared devices from Alexa for Business console and define which skills will be available to users in every device. These devices are ideal for common areas like shop floors, cafeteria, front desk, and conference rooms. The second model is called enrolled users, where Alexa for Business supports bring your own device model. In this model, users can enable their work related skills in their own personal Echo devices. Then they will have access to both their personal skills and corporate skills. As an administrator, we will be able to control which users have access to the enterprise skills who are invited into our organization. This model is ideal for user specific skills that offer a more personalized experience for users. Alright, now let's begin the tour on various use cases for Alexa in an enterprise. First is to build a smarter workplace. Let's imagine a smart voice powered workplace. We will have Alexa voice enabled devices deployed in all common areas throughout the building. Ideally, these devices will be deployed as shared devices in Alexa for Business and will be location aware. Now we can just walk into the building and ask Alexa at the front desk for building address or shuttle schedule for the building or even guest Wi Fi password. We can walk to the cafeteria and ask for today's menu or how long is the cafeteria open. While at work, if we find a printer jammed or out of paper, we can ask Alexa to report the issue or reorder the paper. Alexa will know exactly which printer is broken and where more paper is needed. We can learn about company briefings, top stories, holiday info, travel restriction, and similar most researched information from anywhere through these shared devices. We can also control lights, temperature, and other voice enabled smart devices throughout the building with just our voice. Now, that is how a smarter workplace will look like. Alexa for Business provides you with features and capabilities to build a smart workplace right away. Let's take a particular use case for shared device and examine it closer. Alexa for Business offers inbuilt skills for implementing a smart conferencing solution. We can deploy shared devices in every conference room. Alexa for Business provides the capability to configure and connect to enterprise conferencing solutions like Zoom or Chime or WebEx or Skype for Business. We can also configure the calendar system like Microsoft Exchange or Google Suite and enable these devices to be aware of the meeting schedules and the availability information for that particular conferencing room. Now, a user can just walk into the room and say, Alexa, start my meeting, and Alexa will connect them to the appropriate meeting bridge. We don't have to struggle at the last minute anymore looking for the number or the meeting pin. Alexa for Business will also provide an option to integrate with existing audio video conferencing devices in a room like Cisco or Polycom devices. Our next stop is to explore how we can increase productivity at work using Alexa for Business. We can extend the capabilities of Alexa through skills that connect to backend systems and enterprise applications. Depending on the systems and the enterprise application, these capabilities can be extended to both shared devices and enrolled users. With enrolled users, we can also have the skill authorize the user and provide a more personalized experience. For example, the sales team can use Salesforce skill to find and update an opportunity, or an executive can ask Alexa for status report on the top opportunities in the pipeline. We can enable a ServiceNow skill on a shared device to simplify the process of creating an incident ticket to report an issue with an equipment at that location. Or an enrolled user can access the ServiceNow skill to inquire the status of an ongoing incident. We can offer Concur skills to all enrolled users and thereby offering them a personal concierge to book and manage their business travel. With a growing network of voice-enabled enterprise applications, we now have multitude of opportunities to help increase the productivity for users. In addition to the third-party enterprise applications, we can also build our own skills to interact with our internal systems. The API and microservices solutions have already laid the groundwork needed to seamlessly talk to our backend systems. Now, with Alexa, we can bring a new dimension of voice interface to all our applications. The interesting feature that Alexa for Business offers is private skill deployment and management. Let's take a minute to quickly understand what is a private skill. The capabilities of Alexa at home are extended through skills available in the public store. These skills are visible to everyone and accessible to everyone. However, when we want a skill for enterprise users, we often wouldn't want them on a public store with access to everyone. With Alexa for Business, we can build and distribute and deploy skills as private skills available only to our organization. The skills are accessible only through registered devices and enrolled users when they are published as private skills. This feature opens up the possibility to build custom skills for shared devices or enrolled users and implement them as private skills just for that particular organization. We can now voice enable any of our backend system just by building a custom private skill that interfaces with the system and voice enable it for all our users. Now, what kind of private skills can we build? We can build skills to turn Alexa as our workplace assistant, maybe at a front desk or a cafeteria as a virtual receptionist, or as an assistant for project management who can fetch and update the status of any project, or a HR assistant to provide payroll information and holiday schedule, or as a facility assistant who can offer location specific details as well as general procedures. We can also build skills to support field operations, a way to create, update, and track service issues, or a way to update the status along the production line, or a way to gather data, a way to run reports and analytics, a way to order supplies if they are low on stock, a way to ask for directions when we are in the middle of a process, even a way to automate simple workflows like password resets, IT approvals, monitoring, and alerts. The power of the voice UI is that we don't have to remove our safety gear to access a system, or we don't have to stop what we are doing to log into our laptop and find out a particular information. We don't have to browse through 20 different screens to find that particular report, or wait to get to the laptop to update or approve something. All we have to do is just ask Alexa. Voice is the most natural way of interaction and often more effective way of interaction with systems. Now, when we bring the power of voice user interface to our systems through Alexa for Business, we can offer a whole new dimension to increasing workplace productivity and ease of use. It's time for us to jump to the second part of this webinar. How do we manage the devices and skills for an organization? Let's take a moment to think about what it means to manage a device. So, for every single device, we need to connect it to the enterprise network, assign it to a particular room, configure device settings like wake word, volume, etc., assign appropriate skills to the device, and ensure that only users within an organization can access the enterprise skills. So, Alexa for Business provides us with tools to scale this process and deploy multiple devices at a time. We can register up to 100 devices. We can create locations in bulk, configure multiple devices using a room profile, and assign skills to multiple rooms using skill groups. Alexa for Business also allows us to distribute and manage private skills and also manage enrolled users. We will walk through how we can centrally manage everything in Alexa for Business console during our demo. Before we jump into our demo, let's quickly review the pricing for the service. For a shared device model, it costs about $7 per device per month. And for enrolled users, it costs about $3 per user per month. Depending upon the size of your organization and number of devices you would like to deploy, you can quickly do the math to estimate how much would it cost per month for shared devices and enrolled users. Now let's jump to the console and take a look at Alexa for Business as a service. All right, let's jump to AWS console and take a look at the service. Alexa for Business is available under Business Productivity. For the demo, let's assume that Alexa for Business devices are being deployed in every major airports across Texas. As a step one, we need to identify the various buildings or locations, in our case, various airports, where the device will be deployed. We define these using room profiles. Every room is associated with a room profile, and there can be multiple rooms associated with a particular room profile. A room profile holds information like the address and device settings for a particular room. Let's create a room profile for Austin Airport, and we can walk through various parameters that are required to configure a new room profile. We provide a profile name, and we provide the address for the room. Austin is in Central Time Zone, so let's pick US Central. We can configure the wake word to be Alexa, Amazon, Computer, or Echo. Let's leave it at Alexa. We can configure the temperature units to US, Fahrenheit, or metric Celsius. Same way, we can configure the distant units to be US or metric. We can configure the device volume from a range of 6 to 10. We can either enable or disable outbound calling on the devices. If it is enabled, you can associate a particular address book with the device. Since our device is going to be in airport, let's disable it for now. There we have our Austin room profile. Now all the rooms in Austin will be associated with this room profile. They will have information about their address and time zone from their room profile. Let's take a look at skill groups. All the skills available to your organization are logically grouped into skill groups. You can group the skills based upon the location of the devices. Say all devices in Dallas Airport will have skills in the area Dallas skill group. Or you can group the skills based upon the functionality. For example, all the devices that are going to be in the informational desk will have the information desk skill group. A skill group can have one or more skills associated with it. The only way to enable a skill to a room and the devices in a room is through skill group. We associated a skill with a skill group and a skill group with a room, and therefore the devices in the room will have access to the skills that are part of the skill group. Let's now create a skill group for the devices that are going to be in the Austin airport. Let's give the skill group a name. So all the skills specific to Austin area will be available in this skill group. Skills specific to Austin. Now we have the skill group. You can add skills to the skill group, and you can associate the skill group with a particular room. Now let's go take a look at the skills that are available to your organization, and then we can add them to this particular skill group. In this page, you can view and manage the skills that are available for your organization. In the next tab, you can search and browse skills that are available in the Alexa store and enable them for your organization if needed. Let's enable the weather app for our devices. In the next tab, you can view, enable, and manage the private skills that are distributed only for your organization. We did talk about the concept of private skill. Towards the end of the demo, I will show how to distribute a particular skill as a private skill available only to your organization. For now, let's switch to how to add a particular skill to a skill group. Now, let's take the weather skill. and add it to a skill group. You can add the skill to multiple skill groups as well. Now we have configured the room profiles. We have enabled the skills and added them to the skill groups. Let's go take a look at the shared devices. Alexa for Business provides you a device setup tool that lets you configure up to 100 devices at a time. In this page, you can add the devices to a room. You can enable or disable a device. This page also gives the status of the device, whether they are online or offline. You can select a device. You can remove the device from a room, reset a device, or delete a device. You can also add a device to a particular room. Let's first of all create a room and then add one of the registered devices to the room. Moving on to the Rooms panel. Everything that we have done so far with the room profile, skill group, and the share devices all come together when you configure a room. Every room has a room profile associated with it, and every room has a skill group associated with it. Let's take a look at an existing room. It has a shared device available in the room. It has a skill group associated with it. And within the skill group, through the skill group, it has the following skills available to the devices in the room. You can also add smart home devices like your controls for your light or your thermostat in that particular room. Let's try to create a new room for Austin Information Desk. We provide a room name and we pick a room profile. Let's go to the next step. We can add devices to the room if we have already registered the devices, or this step is optional. We have already registered the devices that is not associated with any other room. Let's go ahead and add this device to this particular room. Now you can add skill groups for this room. Since this is in Austin, let's pick area Austin and informational desk skill groups for this room. And we just click create room. Now we have our new room called Austin Info Desk. It has a device associated with it. It has two skill groups that we selected, and through the skill groups, it has the following skills available to it. And if you go to the Share Devices panel, you could see that this particular device is associated with the room Austin Info Desk. We can also configure our Alexa devices to our existing conferencing solution providers or existing conferencing equipments. We can link our calendars so that Alexa can act as a smart assistant to manage our schedule, our scheduled new meetings. We can also create address books and contacts. For devices with outbound dialing enabled, users would be able to use Echo devices to call contacts in their address books. Now, let's take a look at how to invite users to join your organization as an enrolled user. Alexa for Business provides you an email template that you can use to invite users to join your organization. You can configure the template with your organization's name and a contact email address. Now, the user would receive an email based on the template that we had configured in our console. And when they click the link here, it takes them to the Alexa for Business page. And once they click Join Now, they can link their Alexa account with their Alexa for Business account. And now they are added to your organization. If you go back to your Alexa for Business console and refresh, you could see that the user is now an enrolled user. All the skills that are available to your organization will be available to the user but on his personal device. Now, let's take a few minutes to see how you can build and publish a skill as a private skill. First of all, let's go to the skills page and to the private skills tab and find out the IAM ARN for your organization. Let's copy this value. Now let's go to developer.amazon.com and let's go to our skills. I have already built a private skill for a simple Hello World skill for the demo, and I have created a Lambda function, linked it to the skill. It is connected to a Lambda function, and I have tested the skill and I'm ready to distribute it. Now, during the skill distribution, we provide certain information about this public skills, public name, description, and we address some questions about the privacy and compliance. And in the last tab, when it comes to availability, we have an option to publish the skill as a public skill or to a particular Alexa for Business organization. Let's select Alexa for Business organization and also select the countries in which the skill would be available. I have selected United States. Now, when the skill is validated and it is ready to run, we'll run the functional test and we can now submit the skill for review. Now, it takes a few hours to review the skill and publish it for distribution as a private skill to Alexa for Business organization. I already have another skill published. Let's go and distribute this skill to our organization. When the skill is live, click on the Manage Access. You can now paste the value of the IAM ARN that we copied from our Alexa for Business console and click Add to distribute this particular skill as a private skill to your organization. Now, if you go back to your Alexa for Business console, once you have published your skill as a private skill, it will appear on your list of private skills. You will need to review the skill and then you can either enable or reject the skill. Once enabled, the skill will be available for your shared devices and enrolled users. You can also select an available skill and disable it. So we are almost at the end of our quick tour on the features and capabilities of Alexa for Business. On the landing page on AWS console for Alexa for Business, there are some interesting videos that go over the concepts that we discussed today in great detail. I highly recommend you to take some time, go over these videos, understand the concepts in detail, and try them all by yourself. Let's now switch to the slides to discuss the further steps that you can take to get started with Alexa for Business. So, what do we do next? You can get started by setting up your own Alexa for Business account in the AWS console. There is an admin guide, blogs, videos, white papers, and several resources to help you get started. You can try hands-on creating your own room profiles, skill groups, rooms, register some devices, assign them to rooms. You can enable some skills and assign them to selected devices. You can invite users specific to your organization and understand how everything comes together in the Alexa for Business console. You can also get started with Alexa Skills Kit to build your own custom skill and distribute that as a private skill to your organization. Once you are comfortable with Alexa for Business as a service, there are two ways to introduce the voice experience to users in your organization. First option is to leverage the inbuilt smart conferencing skills and set up smart conferencing rooms in your organization. The other option is to build your own custom skill and distribute as a private skill that would help increase productivity for users in your organization. In both cases, based on the feedback from users, you can build your solution further and iteratively enhance the results. I would like to thank you all for taking the time to join this webinar and learn about Alexa for Business. Thank you.